Cool, hi guys, welcome to the second video. I think the first video took way longer than I anticipated, so this one I'll try and make it as fast as possible. But going back to where we were on the previous video, we were triggering that and I was explaining what you can use this particular endpoints for. Code wise, we spoke about our entry function, or the one that actually triggers our orchestrator, and our orchestrator basically does this execution. Then some people are like, okay, cool, so what can I do with my orchestrator, right? I will show you a simple flow essentially with this. So what you then have here is you have an orchestrator that can execute a bunch of activities, right? Activities vary from one to the next. It can be whatever that you want really. So that, without actually doing that, I'm just gonna cheat and copy that, paste it there, and I wanna say my name function, right? Function. Okay, cool, that's that. And instead of taking in the context, what I actually want in this function is to be able to be triggered using an activity trigger, and on that activity trigger it should take something called my name for argument's sake, right? Then the portion that we're on is this one actually, right? So I'll continue using a bunch of console logs. So I'll just say cool, cool, that's the I'm gonna say that let me just use this. Your name is name, right? So that's the first orchestration that we actually wanted to get to, right? You can literally write this code there if you wanted to say this, that, but I'll show you the benefits of actually using durable functions. So that's that. And what we kind of want to get to is, under this, we want to call a function that will basically execute this activity function of ours. So what do we have in there? We have a method in the orchestrator that says await, using the context that we have above them. There's a call activity async, right? This has a method that can return a result and one that doesn't actually return a result, right? And in that, you kind of need to pass in the actual name of the function itself. So the name that I want, or the function that I want to execute, is called say my name, and my name, as I mentioned, is Durable. If I can be fast enough. So that's what I'm gonna do. So how are we going to enter this function? I'm going to basically call this trigger function, which will call my orchestrator, and my orchestrator will effectively call my activity function, one of my activity functions. So I'll have a breakpoint there. If I do that, and I put a breakpoint there as well, effectively, so that you guys can basically see the flow. Cool. I'm gonna stop that function. It was running from previous video apparently. I don't know how long it took, but yep. So that's the function starting up. There's the HTTP entry point that we have, so I'm not going to change that. I'm going to go back to it. Same thing as what you see on console is what I have on my Postman app then. Cool. And then I said my name is Gerabumlele, so hard-coded everything, so that doesn't really matter. So currently we are in that particular function. We're not doing anything with the request, so that's where the fun part is going to come. So cool, I'm going there, and my orchestrator is going to say cool, I'm executing that. So if I look at my console already, it has probably said triggering my orchestrator. Then if I go for that, it's actually in the function, and I expect it to say my orchestrator executing 100%. Then if I go to that, it basically goes out of my function. But why is this breakpoint here? What is going on to my context? There's something interesting. It's a replay. Value is equals to true. I spoke about this in the previous video, so I'm just gonna continue. Go back to my HTTP trigger it again, show you guys what is actually happening. Cool, that's my entry point. On my entry point, I go to my orchestrator. If I look at my orchestrator, I say, cool, orchestrator, what is going on? Is this a replay? No, this is an actual request. Okay, cool. it's executing my activity function going back. Is this a replay? Yes, it is a replay. Why? Because I all of a sudden started calling my function, right? What does that mean? It will probably execute whatever that's there again, right? So I have a breakpoint there, and if I look at my logs, I wish they were much cleaner than this. So what I'll just do is continue. After continuing, I'll stop this, and we'll pay attention to the console essentially. Console starting up. Then I am going to trigger my function, go there, then it's gonna say trigger orchestrator. It's gonna write this line, writing orchestrator. So I'll actually step over what happens there. So that's that, trigger my orchestrator. I'm gonna continue. It goes into my activity function, so it's saying it's actually triggering my my orchestrator. Then it will write my name. Okay, I probably held it by whatever that I clicked on console. Then it's saying my name is that, so it's here, right? It went out here, now it's back to the orchestrator. Will it or will it not actually write this my orchestrator executing? Continue. Boom, my orchestrator is actually being executed twice. So what is happening? There's a logic called replay in durable functions that I cannot cover in this video, otherwise this video will be very, very long. So in this video, what did I do? I effectively showed you how to call essentially a function. So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna be lazy. I'm gonna say my surname quickly so that I save time. I don't want you guys being stuck here for forever. So I'm just gonna quickly do that, and I'm gonna call my second function called that, and that is going to say my surname. Your name is, your surname is, cool, that's that. Run the function again. So I have two activity functions essentially, right? This is my entry function. I have a function that says say my name and one that says say my surname respectively. My orchestrator is calling those independently. Cool. And if I go back to console and I send that in, that is calling my entry function. It's calling my orchestrator. Then it's calling my what's my name function, or say my name function. Then it goes back to the orchestrator. It says cool, is this a replay? So you saw exactly what it did. It called this function, went back to the orchestrator. Now I'm executing. Oh, why is it not calling this one? Because it's executing everything in there. Now all of a sudden, instead of calling my name, it's now calling my surname. What is going on? Durable functions, it knows that it has actually went through the step of calling that particular activity function. So that's why now on my context that says, if I had looked at this was saying is replay. So on the replay, it now knows that cool, I've done this, so now I'm going to the next step. So it's skipping over essentially the other call that we have. Is replay, goes back and says cool, what is going on? It's replay true, meaning this thing has executed already, so there's some sort of context going on. If I continue this, it will probably execute. Why? Because there's nothing else to execute asynchronously. Cool, makes sense? Confusing? Console wise, you can effectively see that it's saying triggering my orchestrator. Look at this, my orchestrator is executing the name. Again, my orchestrator is executing, now it's saying my surname. Then it's executing my orchestrator again. So what is going to happen to your actual orchestrator function? It will be triggered multiple times based on the replay functionality. Now, people are like, okay, cool, because there's that bunch of replay. What do I do? Do I say, cool, if context dot is replay, do I do something like that and say, cool, if this thing is not replay, execute? Nope, you don't want this, right? You want functions that are going to be determinative. You want to run all your logic in activities. Why? So that your activities can actually, house the progress of the orchestrator itself. So you don't really do this. You can, good luck with it, but the idea behind durable functions is so that you don't use this. Cool, thank you very much for tuning in. This is how durable functions work. This is an entry point to my orchestrator, which then calls two activity functions. My two activity functions are say my name and say my surname. I could literally have anything that I wanted in these activity functions. Cool, thank you very much guys. Catch you on the next video. I'll probably be talking about something slightly more, I'd say, interesting. Well, what I'll do is I'll refactor this thing, try, instead of this, passing a model that will give you my name and surname essentially. Cool, makes sense. Bye guys.